We are not ready yet to teach these human beings the law of the Daleks.
Hey guys! Today I'm going to review The Power of the Daleks. This is from 1966 from season 4 and it's the first story to feature Patrick Troughton as the Doctor. It's the 5th Dalek story and it's a 6-parter, but unfortunately all 6 episodes have been lost. Animated it using audios from the original story, and it's quite surprising because there's 2 versions. There's ordinary Blu-ray steel boxed with a black and white version and a colour version and a special edition, so I've got a lot of Troughtons to watch. I'll show you the amount. Hi guys, these are the 2 Power of the Daleks Blu-rays I've got. I haven't even opened this one. See, it's still all wrapped up. With this one, the first release, there's a black and white version and a coloured version. So if I ever watch this story again, I'll probably watch the coloured version of it. Well, I wonder how bad the animation is. It's strange that they redid the animation for the special edition. This is the one I watched for the review. So here's some other Troughtons that I haven't watched yet. So I've got to watch The Underwater Menace. That's where Jamie's introduced. I haven't seen the animated stories for the Moon Base. Haven't seen the Macra Terror, so that'll be interesting. Blu-ray release. Blu-ray release for the Faceless ones I haven't seen. Striking cover that. Oh, that's season 4. And there's season 5 that I haven't seen a Troughton. I've got the Ice Warriors, really looking forward to that one. Enemy of the World, haven't seen. Should be interesting that, about Troughton's double. And 2 big classics, The Web of Fire. I haven't seen the animated episodes of it, just the 1 episode I've watched. And of course Fury from the Deep, this might actually be his best one. I think this one will be like more creepy than usual. So there's 8 Troughtons that I haven't seen yet. So I'll be reviewing them later. I've always been excited to watch this story ever since reading about it in the novelisation from John Pale. He did a lot of good Dalek stories novelised. Here's the novelisation of Power of the Daleks by John Pale. I like his books when stuff like Power of the Daleks and that wasn't out on DVD. I just made up by reading the novelisations of the missing stories. See, John Pale also did these 2 books that are kind of in 2 parts. It's for the Dalek Master Plan. So I used to read these 2 books, so I knew what the story was about. So he's done Power of the Daleks. He also wrote The Evil of the Daleks as well. That'll be coming out on animated form shortly. I've always wondered which one was best, Power or Evil of the Daleks. I used to always think Evil of the Daleks was the better of the 2 stories. But now after watching Power of the Daleks, I think Power of the Daleks is the better of the 2 stories. John Pale also wrote a couple of Dalek stories, like original ones. He did War of the Daleks and Legacy of the Daleks. So, really good writer. I like his Dalek novelisations. Power of the Daleks was written by David Whitaker. He also did Evil of the Daleks. It was directed by Christopher Barry. He directed the very first Dalek story. David Whitaker seems to give the Daleks more character in his Dalek stories. And in this one, they're more scheme and they seem to have more character. The story stars Patrick Troughton as the Doctor, Anneke Wills as Polly, Michael Craze as Ben Jackson, and in this story Jamie's not in it. Gets introduced in the next story, The Highlanders. Hey Phil, I'm glad Jodie Whittaker wasn't in the bugger. The plot's interesting because it's about these humans who find this spaceship crash landed and they're investigating it and they find a Dalek inside. This one scientist finds a Dalek. He doesn't realise there's lots more inside the spaceship. It's interesting that the story starts off with a kind of prologue. You see the Doctor regenerating from William Hartnell to Patrick Troughton. I didn't expect that before the titles. I always thought with this story it just started normally, but it doesn't. Troughton seems more wacky. He's got like post-regeneration syndrome, where they go a bit bonkers when they regenerate. With this story being animated though, it has a drawback. Because he can't rate performances, so I can't really work out how good Troughton was in his first story, because you're just watching a cartoon. Ben and Polly, they're like average companions, them two. Polly's okay, but I found Ben's accent to be a bit annoying. He's a proper apples and grapes kind of cockney. Kind of gets on your wick a little bit. Hey Phil, that your bloody accent's worse. Bloody North East. Also, Jamie's a miss. I'm not used to watching Second Doctor stories with Jamie in, and it's noticeable that he's not in this story, so he's a big miss. There's lots of incidental characters in this story. They're scheming against each other. There's kind of like a mini revolution. Some of them are trying to take over, and there's this one guy who's wanting to be head of the base. But the real stars are the Daleks in this story, and they also look really good in animation. The normal characters, it's difficult to get personality in the faces because the animation isn't like top class. But the Daleks look really good. It's amazing how much personality is in the Daleks in this story, probably more than any other. Hey, them bloody Daleks were bad buggers in this one. There's one scene when a Dalek's talking to the scientist. The Dalek says, why do human beings kill other human beings? Some of the guards on the base are kind of dressed up sort of like SS Nazi Germany. There's actually a scene where the Daleks, the ice dogs go up the height and the sucker arm goes up. And it's like the kind of saluting, like the Nazi party. There's a great ending for episode 4 where you see them putting the Daleks inside the casings and on the conveyor belt. I thought that was really good, really effective. I don't know if the TV story was like that. I think you only saw one Dalek getting it done. But in the animation version, they seem to have more Daleks in the story. So it does look good. There's also pretty good music as well. It's quite effective. There's a good scene where, towards the end, at episode 6, you see a load of dead bodies in the base being shouting at each other, and the Daleks have been exterminating them as well, and the camera pans along the bodies and there's this eerie music. I thought that was really effective as well. Even the final last scene where the companions and the Doctor go into the TARDIS, you see one final shot of a Dalek on its own outside the TARDIS, and its eye stalk goes up as though it's still alive. So that was good as well. There's some really good direction in this animated story, so I wonder if the actual show was as well directed. The main scientist's good as well. He kind of wants to be friends with the Daleks. He's given them power, like static electricity, to make them move and give life to the casings. So it's almost a little bit like the Frankenstein story. This story reminds me a little bit of Genesis of the Daleks as well, with some of the cast dressed up like Nazis. There's a lot of symbolism to the Second World War in this story, like there was in Genesis of the Daleks. So overall I thought this story was excellent. A proper groundbreaking story, featuring the first story of the Second Doctor, and the Daleks probably at the best. They certainly have more personality in this story than any other. So out of 10, I think even though it's animated, I think I'd still give this a 10. 10 out of 10. It proves that the Patrick Troughton was excellent. It is one of the best. What do you think, Bones? Did you like it? Bloody loved it, Phil. Better than them Jodie Whitaker Dalek stories and all that. Everybody, bye. See you next time. Bye. Bye.